Hey, what's going on, everybody? So, as we all know, the giant Microsoft event happened yesterday, or 2 days ago now, I guess, since this is coming out on Saturday. But other than that, there's also some crazy, like, spiritual successors coming out in the realm of Sega. So, we got a lot to talk about. So, I'm going to take it to the couch because there's a whole lot. I'm going to have it on the screen. But without further ado, let's jump into this crazy week's worth of video game news. So the first thing, of course, there was big news this week was the Nintendo Direct Mini, which I did a full video on, so I'm not going to talk about it more here, but the too long didn't read version is, in my opinion, it had a little bit of something for everybody, but in most people's opinion, it was kind of lame. I'm kind of pumped for Shin Megami Tensei 3 after hearing you guys' comments, so that's kind of cool. And I'm also really looking forward to the Cadence of Hyrule Physical Edition. But that's not all that was announced this week. The first thing I really want to talk about for real in this video is these two spiritual successors of classic Sega franchises. One of them is a game series I love, Jet Set Radio. Jet Set Radio Future specifically was a game that I played so much, and we got a 15-second little teaser trailer for a game called Bomb Rush Cyberfunk. It has some of the people who worked on the original Jet Set Radio games, so I'm really interested to see what they do with this. It looks cool. It's supposed to be coming out next year. I get the feeling this is going to be one of those games that if it takes off, it'll probably hit multiple consoles, maybe even get a cool limited print by one of those, either limited run games or special reserve or somebody. So I'm really looking forward to that. The other game that really piqued my interest, though, was actually shown during the Xbox gameplay showcase during the pre-show, and that is a game called Balan Wonderworld. This game is, first off, it's made by the creator of Knights and various Sonic games from Sega, but it's being made by Square Enix. And you can kind of see a lot of the Square Enix vibe in there, but all the characters have this Nights into Dreams kind of like feel and look to them. The story kind of has that, or mirrors it, with the two kids going to like a fantastical world. But the gameplay from what they showed from the trailer kind of has like a Hat in Time feel to it. It's basically an action platformer, which is great in this day and age. I feel like, those games are becoming few and far between. But this game, it has a whole bunch of different like outfits or suits you can get that basically give you special abilities to traverse the levels, beat bosses, etc. This game looks fantastic. It is actually coming to all systems, though. It's coming to Xbox One, Series X, PS4, PS5, and the Switch. So I don't know what I'm going to get it for yet, because I still haven't quite decided on which next-gen console I'm getting first. But, and the problem with me is, if you've been watching my channel for a while and see my Switch shelf in the background, I got a lot of Switch games. I like a lot of Switch games. I like to have games on my Switch, so I'm kind of leaning towards that right now. But yeah, hey, tell me what you think about this game, because this game, it looks nuts, and I am like super looking forward to it. So now I'm gonna go through all the crazy games they showed during the Xbox showcase. The first thing, of course, they led off with was Halo Infinite, and let me get the bad stuff out of the way first, because like there's definitely a downside to this. A lot of people right now are really bummed out about how they feel the graphics aren't next gen, which is fair. It does look like a current gen game. And I know another thing that's a real kind of point of contention is that ray tracing is not currently going to be in the game at launch. It will come in a patch later for free. And then, of course, the last real kind of downside to what they showed, of course, and they're going to show more in the future, so this one is kind of a less of an issue, but that is, of what they showed, they did not show any multiplayer, and multiplayer is a big deal for Halo fans. I'm kind of probably 70-30, 70 being I like the campaign more, 30 being the multiplayer, but that aside, what they showed to me looked fun as hell. Oh man, it had like that feel, like the Halo 1, kind of like Halo 3 feel, like Halo Combat Evolved feel. And so one big thing they're talking about this game is going to be more open world, where you're basically going to points, and getting through, whatever you're trying to do in the campaign. You're on the big ring, of course. The brutes are back. That is awesome. Brute weapons are awesome. They showed like this like brute like pulse rifle type thing, or a burst rifle, I guess it would be the Halo equivalent. That thing looked awesome. They added the grappling hook from Doom. A little bit of a ripoff, but I mean, it still looked cool. Nothing. Hey, more options to traverse is always something I'm into. But this game looked fun. I mean, let's just take the graphics out of it, or all the stuff that people talk about. It's from a pure gameplay standpoint. Looks like it's gonna be a really, really good time. Plus, the open world aspect is still a little bit confusing for some because we don't really know what to expect. But the level they showed reminded me a lot of the second level of the first Halo, where you crash land and you basically have this big open area and you have to go do certain tasks or whatever. I imagine that this game is going to be a lot like that, just expanded. Maybe a couple weeks ago I did a video about launch titles, and we still have a lot more to go through, so this is not the be-all end-all of Microsoft or Sony. Sony's definitely going to have more events, going to be talking about more games. There's no way that they're leaving it at what they left it at right now, because for both companies that's very stupid. But currently, like as of this video, as of July 25th, 2020, where we're at right now is Microsoft is dropping Halo, which looks really fun, and PlayStation is basically like, hey, like Spider-Man, you're gonna love his friend, and that's pretty much it right now. I mean, the Spider-Man game was cool, but this game, that, like I said before, that game was not built specifically for the PS5. I can't wait to see what Sony's gonna come back with, because like I said, there's no way that they're leaving it at that. There's gonna be more games announced. There's gonna be a whole lot more going on between now and the fall when these consoles launch. But currently, right now, I am all in for Halo. So after that, they basically just went through the rest of the show, and so the rest of this video, I'm gonna just kind of talk about the games they showed and kind of go through them. The next thing they showed was more of a cinematic trailer, not gameplay. It's for a series I haven't played, but I have several friends who really enjoy it, and that is for State of Decay 3. They basically showed kind of like this like snow landscape and a zombie deer and a woman hunting it down and the deer screaming bloody murder. It seemed pretty cool, but once again, it's not something I know much about. I've never really been huge into State of Decay, but it does seem pretty cool. After that, they showed another trailer. It was kind of a cinematic trailer, but it said it was in-game engine. This game is not coming out for a while, but that is the new Forza game. When it comes to racing games, if you're a racing game fan, you're probably going to hate this statement, but I'm super casual. If I'm playing a racing game, I want it to be like a fun game, so I usually stick to kart racers, mostly like Mario Kart, or really just arcade racers, just something kind of crazy off the wall. Forza, of course, is known for its hyper-realism and beautiful graphics, so that's kind of what you're going to get with that. After that, they showed some stuff for the new Rare game, Everwild. Now, Everwild, the trailer, I'm not gonna lie, just confused the hell out of me. I still don't know what this game is about, what it's doing. It looks really cool, but once again, I just have no concept of what is going on with this thing. After that, they had another one of those more, I guess like a storybook game, and that is Tell Me Why. Basically, it was just it's what they showed was less gameplay and more of a cinematic type trailer as well for that. But it's kind of hard to really justify that being a good or bad thing. It's a story-driven narrative game, so they're not my cup of tea. So I'm not particularly chomping at the bit to play that. But some of you guys out there probably like that thing, so that's gonna be a game for a bunch of people who will like it. I think the Life is Strange crowd is gonna be on board for that. The next two things they showed, kind of back-to-back rapid fire, was they had the guys who made Ori, and they're saying that they are putting out an Ori version for the Xbox Series X that is 120. Or sorry, is it 120 or 60 FPS and 4K? It's just gonna be wild, some kind of super crisp, super cool version. And then, of course, the Outer Wilds guys announced a new DLC, so that looks kind of fun. Then we got to Obsidian, and Obsidian had a very funny trailer. They showed off their new game, where basically it's like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, the game. But the funny thing is how they started the trailer. They're like, hey, if you're looking for the most epic game of the year, you're going to want to be playing Cyberpunk. But if you want the smallest, funnest game of the year, you want to be playing this. And this game's actually coming out like next week. It's coming out real soon. So it's kind of cool. But the neatest thing that Obsidian showed was after this, once again, it was just kind of a cinematic little teaser trailer. This game is definitely not going to be coming out anytime soon. But, you know, if you've been tracking Obsidian lately, you'll know that basically they took on Fallout with the Outer Worlds. And now with this new game, Avowed, it looks like they're about to take on the Elder Scrolls series. You know, that kind of makes me think, you know, if you were to tell me like 5 years ago, like, oh yeah, Bethesda's like totally on the outs, like everyone kind of hates Bethesda, I would call you an absolute liar. I mean, like, Bethesda was on top of the world. But then, you know, it's like they ported Skyrim 800 times, then they started making mobile phone games with microtransactions, and then Fallout 76. Yeah, that sucks. That really blows. Then quickly after that, they had another story-driven narrative game called As Dusk Falls. I mean, I got a little bit of gameplay here, but it's once again kind of like that earlier game. It's not something that interests me that much, but you know, it may interest some of y'all. Followed by, they had some stuff basically about Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice 2. Just a little bit talking about that, a small amount. But then there was something really neat. They had Jack Black come in and start singing a song over the new Psychonauts 2. Now they showed quite a bit of some Psychonauts 2 stuff over the song. Really beautiful, really bright. Something I'm looking forward to. It did get pushed next year, so that's something that's gonna be a big deal, and I cannot wait to check it out. After that, they showed some new Destiny content that's going to be coming out. Also, they announced that basically all of Destiny and all of its current expansions for Destiny 2 will be coming to Game Pass soon, I believe September. So if you have not jumped into Destiny 2 and wanted to and have Game Pass, I mean, hey, you can jump into it now or then and be able to play all of it. Although, one other thing I forgot to announce, this is not in order now, Dragon Quest XI-S is coming to all major consoles, including Game Pass. So when it drops, you'll be able to play it for free if you haven't. That is a great game. They literally are porting the Switch version, so it's actually going to be kind of a downgrade if you played on the PS4. But in general, going to be very cool. You should definitely look into that. But the next thing they talked about was kind of this cool Chernobyl zombie game, which is apparently a sequel to a game that came out a long time ago called Stalker 2. I don't know anything about this. You know, it just looks real dark, real kind of creepy. But apparently the first game came out like almost 10 years ago. So that's definitely something to keep your eye on. And it was followed by another kind of dark, scary game. This one is set in the Warhammer universe. And basically it's another cinematic trailer. First person. It says it's coming out 2021. And that's Warhammer 40k Darktide. It looked very interesting. You know, once again, we need to get some gameplay before, you know, we kind of figure out what the heck is going on with that one. The next game really stood out to me, and that is a Tetris. Basically, it's Tetris Effect, but with like a lot of people. So like you're playing online, you're playing your Tetris, but also your individual Tetris screen will be able to combine with other people's screens, and you can basically work together to knock out giant lines. I don't know much about it, but you know, I'm a huge Tetris fan. I love Tetris 99, so I cannot wait to check that out. The next game they showed, kind of still going rapid fire here, is called The Gunk. It looked like a very interesting kind of place. It's from the creators of SteamWorld, but you know, once again, it was more less gameplay and more of like a cinematic-y trailer, but it looked like really kind of vibrant. I won't say bright, because it wasn't really bright. but it was definitely something interesting. The next game, however, is a big deal. Big deal to me, and that is The Medium. Now, The Medium looks like kind of maybe like a it's supposed to be like a horror kind of game, but think Silent Hill. And a good reason to think Silent Hill is because some of the people who worked on the Silent Hill series are working on this game. It looks really cool, really dark. They are rendering like two worlds at the same time, because there's like the world of like the medium, which I assume would be like kind of like the psychic-y world, and then the real world. So that was a very interesting trailer, very interesting looking game, something that I think I'm going to pick that one up, even though I'm like a wussy at scary games. Something I'm definitely going to check out first thing. Oh man, the big one for me though, and this is not going to be big for everybody, but freaking Phantasy Star Online 2. If you've been watching my channel, you know that I love me some Phantasy Star Online 2. I'm just going to put up right here. Here's my character. I think I have quite a little bit of hours put on him. I am in love with this game, and it looks like they're taking it to the next level, kind of like a worldwide thing, where it's going to be a new Phantasy Star Online 2, in a sense. They actually clarified after watching this Xbox event. I know probably half of you are going to care about this, but if anyone actually plays Phantasy Star Online, this is going to be some important news for you. They clarified what's going to go over. So your levels, your experience, your money, your boosters, and any in-game currency is not going to come over. Any actual accessories and things that come from your locked account will come over. Your characters will come over. And your weapons will come over. However, you may not be able to equip your weapons based on your level, since everyone's going to be starting at square one. One thing they have not talked about, though, is the clothing, which is purely cosmetic. But the outer and inner clothing, none of that has been said one way or the other if that's coming over or not. And the other thing is, apparently in this update, mags, since they won't add to your stats, they just do their kind of mag thing, they will come over, and you will get to keep your mags evolution device. So I know for half the people who watch this, they don't know any idea of what I just talked about. But also both games will run concurrently, so you can play the new Phantasy Star, and you can go back and play the old Phantasy Star. So that is neat, and that is something that I am personally hugely looking forward to. Like I said, I'm a huge Phantasy Star fan, so that was amazing news for me. After that, they showed this kind of like war game type thing. My first thought was Crisis, but it's another game I didn't really know anything about, and that is called Crossfire. Once again, first person shooter kind of crisis-y looking game. Seemed interesting. Once we get more information on it, maybe I'll care a little bit more about it, but right now is wishy-washy. And then after that, they basically ended with a teaser. And it's a teaser that a lot of people were expecting to see in this, and that is a very short teaser for Fable. Fable's coming back. I'm really excited. I'm a big Fable fan, so I can't wait to see when this does occur. I will say this. There's a lot of heat right now, just in general with this. People saying that Xbox is not supposed to, Xbox said, hey, we're not leaving anyone behind for 2 years, not going to have console exclusives. And if you watched all of this event, you'll see that some games only said Xbox Series X in the bottom, Fable being one of them. And I think what that means, what you can infer from that, and I may be wrong, is that basically means that Fable probably isn't coming out for 2 years, which stinks because I really want to play that game. But anyway, that is all the stuff they showed at the Xbox conference. It was a lot to take in. Just like the PlayStation conference, I'm definitely leaning towards Xbox. I'm going to be super transparent. But just like the the PlayStation conference, there's a lot of stuff where it's like, okay, I don't care about that, or this doesn't have a date that's realistic to a time frame that is relevant to us right now. So I don't know. Just let me know what you guys think though, because man, there's a lot of stuff announced and a lot of games look like a lot of fun. So like I said, there was a whole lot that went on this week, so it's kind of cool to talk about it with all you guys. But any of the weird things we talked about, please drop it in the comments below if you're excited for any of these games, or if you're excited for any of these cool spiritual successors. Which brings me to the question I want to ask you this week. This week I'm thinking, they talk about these cool spiritual successors. If you had a game that it's just like it's dead, like this game, the likelihood of it coming back is very slim. What would you like to see a spiritual successor on? Kind of like how Bloodstained Symphony of the Night, what have you. For me, and I don't want to admit that it's dead, but I mean, let's just face facts. I want a Mega Man Legends spiritual successor. We almost got one with that red ash thing that like really fell through the cracks, but that's me. I would like to see a new Mega Man Legends. But what do you think? What do you guys? What game would you like to be brought back by an indie developer? Let me know in the comments below. That's going to do it for today's video, guys. Hey, if you guys haven't subscribed, please subscribe. We're getting pretty close to 3,000. It'd be awesome to have you on board. And if you liked the video, please give a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you disliked it. Comment on anything we talked about. And as always, take it easy.